are just passing the airplane graveyard, which is over there, not in front, not in Kate's nose,
in my
obviously.
head.
But the other side of the car, over there, we're passing the airplane graveyard. Yes, I'm being a little more lax about our location on this particular channel and this particular thread. But we are making stonkingly good progress. We've passed through Tucson. We are going to stop and say hello to a friend very briefly. And we should be at our hotel, what, around 11 p.m?
Yeah, I think so.
That's an optimistic estimation, but...
That's an optimistic estimation, and...
But we will be going into the West Coast time zone, so...
Yeah, we're not far
we're
away from passing into Pacific. So according to this, we've got about another 10 hours of travel to go, which puts us in here about midnight.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, but no, 11, which is exactly what it said.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're
Going back an hour.
we're doing stuff there. But the trip has been really good thus far. We're really sorry for the earlier stream. As you can appreciate, we're on the road. I know, again, we've had people ask us, why haven't you put up the CES videos? Why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? We do try and edit some video on the road, but it's really hard editing video when you're sat in a passenger seat. And I think Erin can show you how much space she's got back there.
As you can see, this very discreet item here takes up not that much space at all. And then I have some other things beneath here, which snacks and bags and things. So it's just kind of like the one little, and that's it. So
We don't have a whole lot of space.
We refer to it as her nest.
We refer to it as the Erin nest, and if you encroach into the Erin nest, she does that. Yeah. So
it's my rat nest.
so we're making good progress. The reason why we're pushing so hard to get back is because poor Kate here has to be at work on Friday morning in her day job.
Ass crack of dawn.
Is that the sound of the smallest violin playing? I think
The
it might
smallest violin. Poor Kate has to be back at poor Kate has to be back at work really early on Friday morning, and she lives about 120 miles north of me.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours.
Which is about 2.5 hours on from where I live. So in order for us to get back at a sensible time on Thursday, so she can get home and get a good night's sleep, because she has to be up at 5 a.m. on Friday morning to drive to work, we have to basically get back to Portland about 5 or 6 p.m.
We gotta hoof it.
And that means we've really had to dig deep. We did 650 miles yesterday, 645 miles. We're going to do 712 today. And what did we say that tomorrow was going to be? 720 tomorrow.
I'm so hungry.
Which, yeah, but it means that the last day we only have like 300 miles to do.
Yeah.
We're going to overnight in Oregon.
And then I just have to do 120.
Tomorrow night, and that makes it a whole lot easier. And then tomorrow Kate's not actually going to do any driving between us leaving, Thursday, Kate's not going to do any driving between us leaving and arriving back at mine. Erin also has to drive back to her home. You're what, 50 miles from me?
No,
40 miles from me.
So it's about just under an hour.
So, and that will be in the rush hour, Erin. Joy of joys. The other thing is, if we get back early enough, it means Erin can go and get her boy.
Yes. Depends. If we get around 5, and it's a Thursday, and it doesn't take too long. The place I dropped my bird off closes at 7, so maybe.
Erin has a little bird.
Yes,
who-
we should explain that Erin's boy is a bird. and
It's not
an
a child.
actual-
No.
Yeah.
I was
Although he
pregnant.
behaves like a child.
It's having a bird is like having a toddler, but forever.
Yes.
And the thing is with parrots, he isn't a parrot, he's a cockatiel. That's a long-term commitment, so it's like having a toddler for 25 years.
Go get your burb, says.
I wanna get him.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is going to sound very silly, but I was like, you know what would be a very cheap and fun thing to do is bring my bird on the trip. But then I was like, that's actually an awful idea. Let's
Well,
not
because
do
he'd
that.
be in the car for 4 days, and that would be tough for him.
Yeah.
He has a little bag that he comes with you places,
does.
but it would not be good.
No way.
So we've driven through New Mexico today, and we had to deal with some really nasty temperatures and really strong headwinds. The headwinds are still blowing from the west, so it's really hard. We're straight into the headwinds, and it's really hammering our efficiency, you know, and it's really frustrating because when we came, we had a tailwind, and that meant we were able to skip like every other charging station. But now we're having to dig deep, and we're going to have to stop a little bit more. Kate is currently well ahead of her current predicted goal. In fact, I think she may, although I think she may have now.
Have I lost it?
You
again?
lost some of it. So let's find out and see. I'm going to replan. I'm not going to share this with you guys. It says you're going to arrive at 23%, which is really not too bad. And Kate's managed to knock 25 minutes off our predicted arrival time just by driving efficiently. And this is kind of the thing that's really got us on this trip. So yesterday, when I absolutely hooned it in Texas, because the speed limit in some places in Texas is as high as 85 miles an hour, we...
Nikki, what were you doing?
It was-
I don't think it was 85.
It was 85.
It was definitely exactly 85.
It was exactly 85. I warmed the battery up, let's put it like that. I got the battery really toasty. I was still one of the
to probably its maximum allowable temperature.
maximum allowable temperature, okay. And we had to stop at the charging station and lift the bonnet just to let it cool down a little bit. But actually driving that fast at that higher speed really hammered our efficiency, and it really upset a bit. And that was a real challenge for us, because we didn't want to have to worry about that. But like an off-road course in some places, very bouncy. It put our suspension through a lot of tests. So if anybody here has any questions, please let us know. Bonkers-ish that we actually had Tesla stock. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish I had Tesla stock right now. I wish I could benefit from Tesla stock. But, and I think we're all in agreement here. I think Erin, even you're with agreement too. It's really hard. She'll take the stock, but it's really hard to report on a company that you own shares in, because then you can't be completely biased. It's something very different to buying a car. So I own a Chevrolet, and I'm very open about that, but I don't benefit from any financial benefits from owning this car. It's just a car, I just own it. Whereas
didn't give you a car.
Chevy didn't give me a car.
Talking good about Chevy, she doesn't get anything out of that.
No.
It's not like she's sponsored or anything.
Right.
So talking good about Tesla, if you had stocks, would,
I would have a vested interest, right?
Yeah.
So if I owned Tesla stocks and I reported on just good things on Tesla or just bad things on Tesla, then it could be considered that I was trying to implement the stock for my own gains. And I'm not interested in that. So I don't own any stock in Tesla. You don't own any stock in Tesla. Erin doesn't own any stock in
I don't
Tesla.
got any stocks at all.
I personally do have mutual funds, but I have no control over the stock and where that investment goes. And I think
I have nothing.
you have nothing, but you have family members who are in a similar boat, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm just reading the airplane graveyard. Someone's figured out where we are. Yeah, we're a long way away from there now.
Nikki, you just named the stream after it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
like they're figuring it out.
If people are figuring it out, that's
It's not just
fine.
figuring it out. It's in the title.
It is in the title. It's funny actually, because there's a handful of people who watch this channel who I would consider kind of on the friend spectrum, and I've been following their progress back, and it's funny because I think we're ahead of everybody else. I think we came out of Texas faster than anybody else. I have one share of Tesla. It's been insane watching it. So I don't even know what Tesla's at the moment. Has it hit $1,000? I think what we're going to see very soon is a share split. It has to be split, I think. I think we're going to see a share split if it stays that high. That seems like a logical thing to do, because in the long term that could end up helping Tesla make more money in the future. So We will try and do a video later on. It will either be today or later on this week, talking about on CES. And as I said earlier on in the stream, that's because we've been in the car. I mean, we can't edit videos in the car. And unlike a lot of the YouTubers who are live,
She's the editor.
I'm the editor as well as the person in front of the camera. So I was talking to pretty much every other YouTuber who was there. I think there was one for them, and that's where we need to go later this year. So it dropped $70 in the last few minutes. That's crazy. I would love to know what that means and why that happened. But if you have any questions that you want to ask us about the trip and our efficiency or anything like that, please let us know.
I know earlier on the earlier stream, which went a bit wrong, we were asked what our maximum charging speed has been.
55 kilowatts,
Yeah.
and we've been averaging about 1 hour at every charging station.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little more and sometimes it's a little less. So the last charging station we went to, I think we stopped and went to a hot dog place in Benson,
Yes.
Arizona, which is very nice.
Wild dogs.
Wild Dogs, world famous apparently. Very nice,
Number 1 in
folks.
Arizona.
Number 1 in Arizona and pretty high up in the US. If you're wondering what that is, it's a charge cable for
We'll probably
the
take it out while we're doing the stream. if
for
it's
the
in way.
for the what do they call it? You actually noted from a previous stream. I are going to be doing. We're going to be driving coast to coast in June, and it's going to be slightly crazy. And we haven't got the details yet. We need to figure out the details, but it will be immediately after EVS 33 because we need to be in Pittsburgh by July 3rd, I think. July 3rd or July 4th. Something like that. So we're actually going to go to Pittsburgh for an event, but we decided to drive coast to coast on the way and prove that it could be done. And one of the things that we are really shocked by is how many people didn't think that it was possible to make this trip in an EV for that kind of distance. Now, someone asked what is our average speed, including charging time. So I think if we zoom down, we're at the moment, which is not bad, really. But that's not bad. So we're averaging about 48 miles per hour. We're currently doing 75, which is the maximum allowable speed limit on this stretch of road in Arizona. And we're 18 miles away from our next stop, so we'll be stopping shortly and getting a bit of exercise. That really does affect your brain and everything else. You start to feel a bit there. We've got a little way to go. How fast charging networks do you have in your stretch? I don't understand the question. Let me read that again because I missed that one. Let me go back and read that question again. How fast charging network do you have in USA in your stretch? I think you mean
How many?
how many and what charging networks do we have? So we've been using Electrify America for 90% of our journey. About Electrify America is that because there are multiple stores on the list, every location pretty much that we've stopped at has had something wrong with one unit or another, then we've been able to just move the car over and plug in another unit. We've also been able to save a butt ton in terms of charging because I'm a member of Electrify America, so I pay a subscription fee, and so I'm paying on average between $5 and $10 for a charge depending on how much we put in, which is super affordable really if you think about it. It's meant that this whole trip is going to be, you know, a couple of $100 for electricity, and it's comparable if not slightly better than what you'd pay for a petrol or diesel car making the same trip. All right, what was your highlight from Fully Charged Live? Oh my goodness. Sitting in the EV1 has to be pretty special. But also just being on stage with everybody and just meeting wonderful people, meeting all of you guys who came to say hi, and it really touched me to see how many of you really love what we do, because I suffer a lot of self-doubt about the channel and the content, and it was just really reassuring and, I don't know, a bit uplifting, I would say, to say, hey, these people really like what you do. I think seeing Erin's shirts on people was pretty special. So we saw,
That
I
is
think,
very
5
cool.
different Erin designs on t-shirts of people wandering around. So you had the Nightmare on Oil Street, we had the 1.21 gigawatts Tesla Powerwall t-shirts. I saw a couple of the Bolt t-shirts. We had a couple of Plug t-shirt designs. I think someone was wearing the Model X Evolved t-shirt as well. I didn't see a Tesla Evolved ones, so here we go. I know Electrify America is improving the charging infrastructure rapidly along that stretch. Are they now available at 80 mile distances the whole way now? Between 80 and 120 miles. That's 120 miles. What's your favourite other YouTuber, reporter, whomever to meet before? There, either someone you've met before or you're glad to see again, or someone that you'd never met before. I really enjoyed talking to Rich.
Yeah.
Rich
Very
from Rich
cool.
Rebuilds was really sweet and really wonderful. We did a collab with him. It is going to go out, but like I say, we can't afford a full-time editor yet. So until that changes, I'm afraid everyone has to wait a little bit for the videos to go out. I am going to try and put my head down and get some video editing done a bit later on, but I can't edit. The one I want to edit involves it doesn't work on this laptop. This laptop's not powerful enough for it. We've got to put subtitles in.
I also really liked talking to Joe.
I also love Joe. I love Joe. I know Joe, Aunt Joe Scott from Answers with Joe. He is such a genuine, wonderful guy, and he's like just a wonderful guy. And it felt like I'd known him for years. We just like pick up a conversation that we've had them before, and it was really nice. Hi guys. Have a safe journey home. It was wonderful to meet you too, Steve. I think we're gonna be heading back after a lot of people. I mean, we're gonna arrive home after a lot of you have already arrived home, which is kind of weird. It was great hanging with Rich. It was great hanging with Joe. It was great meeting Tim, the Everyday Astronaut. It was great meeting everyone, to be honest. I really enjoyed talking with Jack and Jack and brain is broken from now, you know. That was great watching them as well and talking to them. I really enjoyed that. So it's just, do you know, honestly, meeting all the other YouTubers for the most part was just really wonderful and genuine, and most people that we talked to, both YouTubers and non-YouTubers, were just really wonderful people. I met a couple of people at the event who were attending who I felt a little bit, oh, that's nice, dear. But most people were really lovely.
Yeah.
Most people. There were a couple of jerks. I did encounter a couple of jerks. But for the most part, it was wonderful. And all the YouTubers were wonderful.
And I
really enjoyed them.
I think the event went off really well.
I thought the event was fantastic.
But a lot of people were very sweet and gave people grace for the fact we were adapting the fact that Robert wasn't there.
And we missed Robert
and
so
we missed
much.
him greatly, but
I am so glad,
glad.
that, because you threatened him with
I said he had to go home.
You threatened him with nursing violence.
Yeah, I did threaten him with nurses' violence.
Yes.
I said I'm an emergency room nurse because that's what I do in my other job, and I'm off and not paid for doing that. So he better not make me work
on her day.
on my day off when I'm fully charged.
And Yahoo is wonderful. I know Yahoo. I've worked with Yahoo before. People were asking, are we doing any other collabs? Did we film any other collabs? No. Sean and I were going to try and do something, and we never got round to it. I wanted to do something with Yahoo, and we just didn't have time. I wanted to do something again with Joe. We just didn't have time. But now I know we can make those things happen in the future. So I'm going to reach out and go, hey, how about it, you guys? And I'm really excited to be going to Fully Charged Live in the UK. We have so much happening this year.
It's going to be very relaxing.
It's going to be such a wonderful year. We're going to be doing so much traveling. I want to go home now. I desperately want to go home because we put a bird table. I put a bird table up just before we left. You moved house just before.
I was in our new house, the house we spent 3 years building. Still not finished. 3 years building. I was in it for all of about 6 or 7 hours
Right.
before I abandoned my wife.
So Saturday, on Saturday, the Saturday before we left, my wife, who is also called Kate, and I drove up to see that Kate and her wife, who were moving house. We helped them move the house. Not literally move the house, we moved it.
About the same as a house.
Right. I like
Yes.
that. So we helped move your house, and then my wife and I drove home on the Saturday evening, and then you drove down to my house on the Sunday evening,
Yeah.
and then we headed out on the Monday morning. So Kate's wife has had to work on all of the stuff in the new house and prepare and getting the old house that you were living in
Renting.
ready
Yeah.
to go back to the owner. And so to her, I just want to apologise for taking your wife away, and thank you for lending Kate to me for the purposes of Fully Charged Live, because without Kate it would have been a lot harder. And thank you to Erin. I know I pay you, but thank you for coming as well.
You're welcome.
So a couple of people were saying, where's Erin been for the last couple of weeks? Well, Erin's been working so much at the weekend and travelling on trips and stuff that she's just basically, every time we've been back in Portland, she's just had a really long holiday.
We're pretty much shifting. We've shifted my work kind of to the events. So I haven't been getting like it's about the same amount of work. It's just being distributed differently.
Yeah.
So
Erin's still getting
basically-
paid, but she's just
Yeah.
being paid to travel instead of paid to sit at a computer.
Yeah.
We, in fact, will get to the point. I asked, what's the deal with the Tesla Panasonic deal? All right. I don't know. Is there a new one? I may have missed it because I have been on the road. So if there's a new deal, I know there was a Panasonic Toyota deal announced earlier this week. But honestly, I think Tesla and Panasonic, you know, it's not this anymore. The rings come off as far as I'm concerned. I might be wrong.
Divorce?
I think they're having a
Maybe a trial separation.
trial separation, or maybe a non-monogamous relationship. How about that?
Yeah, it might
Marital
well be.
dispute.
Marital dispute. Tesla bought a battery company. Oh, that explains why the share prices went up. See, this is what happens when you're on a road and you don't have access to the internet. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sure we'll do a video on that when I get to the next charging station, or maybe the one after that. I don't know. But that explains a lot, and it's probably why things are the way they are. I don't know what ultimately is going to happen with Panasonic, but I think it's fairly obvious that Tesla has been very unhappy with how Panasonic has been operating.
Tesla's cheating. Tesla's cheating on.
Well, I
Their
mean,
wife.
Tesla's not been getting what it needs, right? I mean, if we're gonna follow that idiom,
In 2 miles.
They
Take the exit on
need
the
a
right.
relationship counsellor.
they need a relationship counselor. They need a better relationship.
I know
You can,
Panasonic. Good.
yeah,
Maybe it's time for you to go your separate ways.
right, exactly. So I don't know what's happened with that, but let's see if we've got any other questions.
I'm sure Panasonic after this is going to pair with another automaker though, or at least start selling batteries to other automakers. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, and that'll be great, honestly. Because as okay, so here's a weird question: has Panasonic been selling batteries to other car companies?
Yeah, they've been working with other companies.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the agreement, but obviously not from
Okay.
Gigafactory stuff. They've been working with other stuff. Oh, there's a policeman right where we need to come off.
Yes, it's making it. There was some debate from me about where I wanted
As
to be.
a non-citizen immigrant with a green card, it's been really funny to watch Kate drive during this event.
Drive like a saint.
Because she's been driving like a saint. You may not know this, but if you're a green card holder and you get stopped for speeding, you can be deported. Like, straight away, you can be deported, and you can also have
If
any
they feel like
chance
it,
of
you could get
residency.
deported for a ton of stuff.
Yeah, any chance of residency gone. So I've got my citizenship, so I applied for my citizenship, and I'm now an American citizen. So I've got a little bit more leeway.
She drives like she always has.
I drive like the rest of America,
Whereas
briskly.
Whereas I now drive like a little old lady.
Yes.
A little old man. Let's not be sexist. A little.
Who prefers slower speeds.
Yeah.
And Arizona police and the Arizona-based ICE are the worst, says someone in the chat. Well, we had to go through all the tech this morning, and I didn't say it.
No, I think we might still have audio.
Oh, no, we're back. So Tesla just bought cattle. Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
Cattle makes Nissan batteries.
Yeah.
Oh, snap! What's gonna happen? Okay, there's gonna be a video coming, guys. Let me digest this, and I'll be making a video on this very soon. And we'll be putting it up later. Oh, yeah. You're also entering no service land. We're actually entering the area of our charging point, so hopefully we'll be able to sort that out shortly. Okay, guys, we are going to have to go and charge. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Send us a couple of dollars our way through Patreon and Ko-fi, and buy one of Erin's t-shirts, because she is awesome. Thanks for watching. Keep evolving.